Hello, my friends. Welcome to my craft room and to episode 121 of the We Are Yarn podcast. My name's Amanda. Thank you so much for being here.
I'm going down to the drugstore, buy a big old skeiny yarn. I'm gonna knit me a kitten, even if you don't give a darn.
Hey guys, how are you doing? I'm doing pretty well. 2 thumbs up here. I realized when I sat down to write my show notes, it's been 3 weeks since I podcasted, and I'm so sorry. I had intended to do this every other week. Apparently time got away from me, as it does. But I'm here now. So excited to be here with you. Thank you so much to all you new viewers. My views on YouTube are really starting to shoot up, and a big thanks and thumbs up to Sharon, who commented on my last podcast on YouTube, that she found me just as a suggested podcast, and that made me really excited. So I'm really excited about that. So I imagine, giving thumbs up to the podcast, the little like button, helps people find it, and if you're subscribing as well. So if you'll subscribe on YouTube, give me a thumbs up if you enjoy me, so other people can come hang out with us in my craft room too. Alright. So I guess we should do a quick update on my general health and well-being. Everything is great. Everybody still asks me every day if I still am getting the morning sickness and all, and the answer is still exactly the same, guys. If I don't take it's called dicleges. If I don't take my dicleges every day, 3 times a day, I get sick. But as long as I stay on top of my medicine, I'm okay. I also have developed restless leg. Did you know this was a thing with pregnancy? I had no idea this was a thing with pregnancy. I've developed restless leg syndrome, but apparently low iron can cause that. So I've started taking an iron supplement along with my prenatal. 2 out of 3 nights I sleep okay. So I'm going to try a different iron supplement starting tomorrow to see if you guys don't want to hear about that. You don't want to hear all the weird pharmacies particulars. You don't. Anyway, that's how I'm doing. People are finally, I'm at 6 months now. I finally look pregnant. Like, it's not just, is she a little thick around the middle? It's now, yeah, she got a baby. So, that's where we are. But I do have lots of things to talk about other than that. So let's talk about it. I have a very curious cat in here who's going places and doing things he doesn't usually do. So if I look panicked at one side or the other, that's why. Okay, I do have an FO. This FO you did not get to see the start of because I got pretty excited about it. I pulled my spinning wheel out and went to Spinning Guild this month. The first weekend in June. And I put on my wheel. Oh, I was going to see if I could find, I've lost the tag. Let me find the tag. Okay, I found my tag. So this is from Daily Fibers. I bought this at the Middle Tennessee Fiber Festival last year. I've been calling this a merino silk blend this whole time that I've been spinning this. It's not a merino silk blend. It's a merino tencel blend, 50-50. So it was 4 ounces. I'm sure it is still very near 4 ounces. And it said it was a sangria to sandalwood gradient. And I think gradient I would take kind of loosely here. So just, you haven't seen it yet. It doesn't really, anyway, you'll see what I mean. I left it on my thing that is a word. I've learned recently, did you know, scientific fact, pregnant women, their brains are 4% smaller than normal. There's a reason for me not being able to come up with words right now. Why I normally can't come up with words, I don't know, but right now I have an excuse, right? Okay. This is a Swift. So, I left it on the Swift because I was really proud of how I wound it off of the bobbin onto the Swift. I'm trying to stay hydrated. My throat's a little dry, so I'm having to drink more than usual, I'm sorry. But this is what it looks like. So, can you see that? So it starts out that purple and then kind of goes into a, what would you call it, orangish maybe? Into that mint green and then to a brownie kind of color. So she had, the way I spun this, I had originally intended, the reason I picked this is because I was having a hard time deciding how to spin the fibers that I showed you guys last week. And it just, I was looking at it, I couldn't decide, and I said, I'm just going to go back to my craft room, pluck one of my gradients up, and spin it. Because I don't have to think about it. I just spin it from end to end and chain ply it, and I'm done. So I plucked this one out. So I'm pretty certain of the gradients I own right now, this was the oldest one. And that's kind of how I've been picking things lately, is grabbing the oldest surviving braid and doing that if I'm having a hard time deciding what I want to spin. So I did that, and then I hurry off to Guild. So I get to Guild, and I unwind the braid, I take it out of the braid, and lo and behold, if it's not just one end to the other straight dyed, no, can't be that easy. She had, when she dyed it, she folded the braid in half and dyed it that way. So it was, it went purple, orangish, green, brown, green, orangish, purple. So I ended up just splitting it in the middle of the brown part, and then I did a short forward draw for this silk merino blend. Felt like that would be the best. I did short forward draw on my little gem and made 2 plies and then plied them together. So while I didn't do exactly what I was expecting to do, it was still, I didn't have to think real hard about how to handle it. And I'll show that to you one more time in case you're interested. I'm really pleased with it. It came out fairly even. I think my ply job looks really good. Usually when I ply, I'll think I'm doing a great job, and then it'll be not quite as tight as it needs to be. I still don't know why I do that, but in most places my ply looks really good and solid, a better ply than I usually do. So I'm really pleased with it. And after I'm talking to you, it will come off of the Swift, and it will get a bath and some soak or some eucalypt, depending on how I'm feeling, and be ready to go. I'm feeling like this is probably, looking at it overall, I think it's probably come out of fingering weight. I have no idea how much yardage I have. Usually out of merino silk blend I get around 420 yards as my normal spin. This was definitely a normal spin, very thoughtless or mindless. So I'm thinking I probably have enough to make an Antarctis. If you're familiar, I've made one of those previously out of a gradient type yarn, and I think it would be really pretty with this, and then it'd look really nice this fall with those colors. So yay. And that is that. That's my FO. Alright, now I had to pull all this stuff out of my spinning wheel bag. Okay, let's get this back open. Where to next? We have whips. The first whip I'm going to show you is my Hito Fude. It's living in my Absolute Wonder bag. So this is my Hito Fude. It is by Hiroko Fukatsu. If you're not familiar with the Hito Fude and you watch podcasts, I'm wondering what rock you live under. Honestly, so many people have made so many versions of this. I'm just following the pattern as it's written. I'm making a large. So this past week, when you saw it last, it was still a square or a rectangle. Now it is no longer a rectangle, but it is beginning to look like a wearable object. Yay! So here are my sleeves. So I was the provisional cast on that you do. You go back and you 3-needle bind off them together, and picking up that provisional cast on, just as bad as picking up the crochet bumps to start the provisional cast on. Taking the crochet out and picking those stitches back up, golly, it took forever. So long. It's worth it though, I think, in the end. So this is the neck, you know, and you're looking at it from the inside. Let me turn it around. This is the neck, right? And then you have the sleeves. One sleeve there and the other sleeve here. And this nice ribbing goes all the way around, so you have a little section of ribbing there at the back as well. And if you want to make it a shrug, I imagine you could stop there and be done, honestly. But if you want to continue and finish the sweater as written, you don't bind off. I'm one repeat of the lace through the body. I just finished that today at Knit Group. For some reason, I kind of lost my steam after I'd gotten it all sweaterified, if that's a word. It is now. So I finally picked it up today at Knit Group, and a big discussion ensued about how the Hito Fude looks fantastic on everybody. Anyone you see it on, it always looks wonderful. I only have one skein of yarn left. I think I have pretty much convinced myself that I need to shop Ravelry and see if there are 6 or 8 skeins of this yarn in people's stashes on Ravelry. None of them are for sale or trade. But I think I'm going to kind of cold call these people and see if one of them would be willing to sell me their skein. Just because I'm nervous that I'm already maybe 20 or 30 yards short of what's called for the large size. And, you know, I mean, if I can do a couple of repeats extra of the lace, that'll be fine. But I have just very little of my other skein left, so, but I need to ball that up. So I'm going to put that over there so I don't forget. I cast on, well, I started hooking up something new. I haven't crocheted in a while, so I'm kind of, oh wait, oh, Hito Fude. That yarn that you got to see, that's so beautiful, is a discontinued yarn. It's Araucania, the Atata Multi in color 1004. That is the blues, and it's a superwash wool, 70% superwash wool, 15% silk, 15% bamboo. So I'm expecting that silk bamboo with the superwash. It's just going to make it lovely and drapey. And I'm knitting that on a US 4, which is a 3.5mm needle. Now, to get back to the new thing, I decided to crochet. Last time I sat down with you guys, I was showing you the baby sweater that I had started, that I was just really not feeling. I wasn't sure about it. I decided I just needed to go with my gut and do something different. and I went with my gut and did something very different. So this yarn, to remind you, was a gift yarn for my birthday back in May. It is the Hobby Lobby brand Baby Bee Angel Fleece in the Soft Surf colorway. And I decided that Baby We Are Yarn, Baby Mandy Cat, needed a car seat blanket. So I looked up several. I didn't see any crochet car seat blankets that honestly had the dimensions that I was looking for, as well as or was out of the weight of yarn I had, and had the holes. My goal is to have a blanket that has the holes for the car seat buckle to go through, so it stays on the baby, because I'm horrible about dropping things and not realizing it, and I didn't want to lose it. So I want to snap it in with the baby, right? So this is what I have so far. So I found, if you visit my project page for this project, I have fairly good details about how I did this. But I just kind of I chained up just willy-nilly to, I can't remember how far, you're going to have to visit my project notes, and to a certain length of chain. And then I started the granite stitch, which is the first row you single crochet, chain, skip a stitch, single crochet, chain, skip a stitch, and then when you come back you put your single crochet in those chain holes. So and I did that so it wouldn't take up as much yarn, make it a little bit lighter instead of just doing all single crochet. I wasn't really feeling the look of double crochet for this yarn, but I'm really pleased with how it's turning out. Pretty pleased, pretty pleased. So this is one ball. I only have 2 balls. I'm pretty certain I'm going to have to go to the Hobby Lobby and supplement this birthday gift with a 3rd ball. And that's okay. So I'm at the point now, I made it a little bit narrower than the pattern that I'm following called for, which I'm good with. I'm making it just as long, just a little bit more narrow because of my not having as much yarn. And I'm following the dimensions for, or not the dimensions, but I'm following the how far to go before you put your holes in for the car seat buckle off a knit pattern. So you start off, you go up 9 inches and then put in your first hole for the bottom buckle, and that's where I am now. So yeah, and that's 1 ball minus this much. So there that is. I was a little disappointed. I did find a place in the yarn where they had knotted it together, but you know, this is not, I don't mind Hobby Lobby. I am not a snob. I will work with crochet, with acrylic, no problem. But it is always a disappointing little bit for me when I find a knot. But I understand, it's unavoidable. 1 knot in the whole ball. I can't get too worried, get too sad over that. But yeah, so this is going to be a car seat blanket. Alright. I did bring my gratitude shawl. I don't feel like it's necessarily, how far had I gotten last time? The time before last time, I said I'd just gotten into the bluish gray. I'm still barely through the bluish gray. This is Gratitude by Deborah Frank. It's just a semicircular shawl. This is Moon Holler yarn that went from this nice yellow into this fun orange into this kind of grayish blue. It is inspired by this painting or picture. It's called The Hills of Home, is the colorway name. And that's a picture of the Great Smoky Mountains. Moon Holler is in the Knoxville area, which is where I live. So, yeah, I think I've maybe put on 4 rows since the last time you saw this. It's not even worth pulling out of the bag, I'll be honest. The garter stitch is just, the rows are getting really long and the garter stitch is just getting so dull. But I really need to finish it by the end of the month so that it's eligible for Caffeinated Knitting's podcast, Oblivious Knits Knit Along. So I need to get on that. I need to have some water. Alright, here we go. So those are all my whips. So after I got done with this, with my gradient, while I was actually sitting at Guild with Daniela, Caffeinated Gert, I looked at her and said, see, I knew I just needed to sit on it long enough and I'd figure out how to spin up the Twist Fiber Studio. So here's what I have to show you. Because once I figured it out, I just went gangbusters at it. Okay, I thought I had the tag for this, but I guess not. I'll show you the tag next week. So this is Twist Fiber Studio, the lovely Ashley Carolina spinner. So I had this braid of fiber and I preserved, let me show you, I preserved some of it so I can show you what's going on. This is one end of it and you see it's kind of nice olivey and it kind of goes into a more yellowish green there, and then it passed into, from the yellowish green, it passed into a pretty like lavendery purple, into this pop of turquoise and back into the lavendery purple, and then continued in that fashion. Green into the purple, blue. Okay. So I couldn't decide how I wanted to spin this. While at Guild, I had the moment of clarity when I did, because it was over half of the braid was the green and yellowy green. The other half, obviously, the purple and blue. I realized what I needed to do was separate my greens from my purples and blues, spin them separately, and then ply them together. So I completed, I've been doing this, I wouldn't call it long draw so much because I'm not, you know, and then literature like that, okay? I'm sorry to be so eloquent with my words there. But what I'm doing, instead of drawing back and coming, because I'm getting a little round here and twisting like that is kind of difficult, and this was a prepared top as opposed to roving. So it's not a true woolen spun. I think we call this semi-woolen, I think, or semi-woolen. So that's what it's going to be. I think it's an attenuated long draw. I'm just holding the fiber steady here, pulling on the single with my left hand, but I'm letting the twist control what's going on and pulling. That's kind of what makes it a woolen spin. Anyway, so this was my first bobbin of my olives and my yellow greens. So there that is. And then this is my bobbin with my blues and my purples. Isn't that nice? I love how the blues and purples turned out. When I had divided it, I said the braid was over half green. When I weighed how much fiber I had with the blue and purple, I had exactly 50 grams. I had something like, I think 57 or 60 grams of the green. So this is, I just held this out. Maybe one day I'll spin it for fun along with something else. or use it for stuffing in something. I don't know. But this was my leftover green. This is my last blue little bit that I saved. I almost spun it up today. I was like, no, I need to show you guys what it looked like. So there that is. This is my last one. I'll probably finish that tonight and then ply those together. So what do you think about my plan? I mean, it's too late now, but it's kind of getting washed out. I have a lot of light in here today. It's really bright outside and I have both the windows open. So yeah, I think it's going to look really, really nice. I'm kind of pleased that I came up with this idea. So, what can I say? So that's my spinning. And other things, I got some things in the last 3 weeks. I've been really tempted many times by Instagram and my knitter friends buying things that are beautiful, introducing me to shops like Swoonish. But I've been really good. I've had a lot of self-control and not purchased a lot of things. There were a few things though I had to get. I'm pregnant. I cannot eat sushi. And ever since the day I got my positive pregnancy test, I had planned to go get sushi for lunch. I was like, dang it. Grr. So, I had to get I can't eat sushi. So, well, okay, I can't eat the good sushi. I could probably have sushi with, you know, shrimp in it or just the vegetable sushi. But come on, guys. What I really want, yellowtail or yellowfin tail, yeah, the yellowtail tuna. That's what I want. The raw goodness. Anyway, I know some of you are out there going, bleh, but that's what anyway, so I had to get this bag. This is by the lovely girl with the rabbit. And it's one of her little triangle bags. And I really like triangle bags. They're really nice. You know, you can throw it over your wrist and just pull that down a little bit and have your yarn coming out the top, and it's just as perfect. And I'll show you, and the inside has these little polka dots, cute. And this was originally going to be part of a kind of a, not a club package really, but you could buy it with some yarn that was dyed by someone that I wasn't familiar with, and now I don't remember it. I'm so sorry. But I was not in love with the yarn, and try not to spend a lot of money on my hobbies right now. And then she decided to just offer the bag alone, and I jumped on it. Girl with the rabbit. .etsy.com. So, and it has, did I point out, it has this fabulous thing that you can loop around your wrist. It's on there with a split ring. So you could take it off and use it for keychain and stuff too, I guess, if you wanted to. But it has a cute little sushi pull. Isn't that cute? Cute. I also received, back in April, I had ordered this and completely forgotten about it. So when it came, I was, yay, so excited. This is from Fondant Fiber. I am one of the proud owners now of her 40th anniversary Rocky Horror Picture Show specials. So this is the bag with the fantastic Rocky Horror lips on it. And then a shiny red fabric down at the bottom with an overlay of, I'm sure what's supposed to be reminiscent of, I hope it's showing up for you. Yeah, there it goes. Reminiscent of fishnet stockings, right? The pull tab on it are some fabulous lips. Adorable. Not the best part though. I've seen several people show this on their podcast. They all got the yarn, so I'm glad to show you something a little bit different. I got the fiber. So this is I See You Shiver with Anticipation. And she said she didn't want to go in her write-up about the colorway. She said she didn't want to go with just the typical red and black that you think of with Rocky Horror. She wanted to incorporate all of it. So we have the gold from the guy's shorts, the red, of course, purple. The red makes me think of Little Red, honestly, and the gold makes me think of her tap dance outfit. There's some magenta up in there, I think, which makes me think of course, magenta. It just, I don't know, it's fantastic. I love it. It's going to make this, I know exactly how I'm going to spin. I'm going to spin it end to end in chain plait, and it's going to be wonderful. I'm hoping because of all the white in it that it's going to end up looking a lot like a speckled type yarn. It's going to be fantastic. So that came. It also came with some cards. Yeah. A couple of postcards. Rocky Horror Picture Show. Good old Tim Curry. God, do you not just love Tim Curry? I love Tim Curry. So sad about his stroke back in the day, I guess 2 or 3 years ago. He recently made his first public appearance, and heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking that something like that could happen to a man with this kind of talent. He can pull off transvestite alien. He can pull off evil cardinal. It just, I love his acting. Love it. Love his voice. Sad. Also, I got some, this says Denton, the Home of Happiness on this tin. I don't know if that's where the stitch markers came from, or is Denton, I don't have the first clue what Denton is. It's the Home of Happiness, though, I can tell you for sure. In this little tin, wrapped up in some little red paper, are some stitch markers. I got the same ones as everybody else, so just real quickly. Oh, corset. Corset. We have, my little red stone fell out, but that's supposed to be a heart with a little red stone in it. Some more lips. Lips. We have a motorcycle. I like it. Okay. And finally, a high heel, which is just wonderful homage to the musical movie. I feel like I need to go put it on. I'll need to watch Rocky Horror while I spin my fiber. Also in the little package, not having anything to do with Rocky Horror, is some knitter soap. And it comes with instructions for how to use it. And it smells amazing. Kind of, I can't decide what the scent is. Lavender? No, not lavender. Jasmine or lemongrass. Something like that. It smells delicious though. And this is knitter soap for your freshly spun yarns and hand knits. So that'll be fun to experiment with. She sent, it kind of melted in the great southern heat wave we're having. But she sent me a Mars bar, which I've never had, the American version or the British version. So I'm super excited about that. And I got a sample of Sugar Rush. And you've seen this, the Sugar Rush is what came in yarn form sample to my friends who got this with the yarn in it, but I got a fiber sample. So it has a little bit of sparkle in there. She doesn't tell me. I guess Spangle is probably her fiber base. I don't have no idea what's in it. All I know is that there's sparkle in it, and it's going to be super fun to spin. I have some of her, what does she call them? Not batlings or fuzzlings, but her, you know, just little sample bat type things. And I think I'm going to throw this in and spin this with that. So I got that. And then after I went to knitting today, because just down the road from where we meet for knitting is the Tuesday morning, my Sunday ritual is to go to knit group, and after knit group, wander through Tuesday morning, because you never know what you'll find. I've shown, sorry for the lean, I've shown you guys a couple of these already, but I haven't done anything with them yet. But they had a small basket of these basket frames, and you see it. You have these this kind of cardboard frame, and in case you haven't seen that episode of mine, you wrap yarn or fabric or scraps around it and make a little basket. And it comes with a template for the base, because you'll just have a plain boring bottom in your basket if you don't do anything to it. So it comes with a template of how big the base is, so you can cut out some coordinating fabric, or you know, if you're a scrapbooker and have some coordinating scrapbook paper, you know, that sort of thing. You can cut it out and glue it down in the bottom so that your bottom looks nice too. So I got the tiny, I have some bigger basket ones, so I got the tiny basket. I thought it was cute, since they still had that. And I got tipped off by Ross of Smells Like Yarn that they had some Deborah Norville, pretty inexpensive, you know, $3.50 needles. The only size that I thought I would use that they had remaining when I got there was a 40 centimeter or 40 inch 100 centimeter US size 1, 2.5 millimeter. Ones and zeros are what I tend to use for socks, and the 40 inches will make it really easy to magic loop. So I got those to test out sock knitting on her needles. And finally, I'll be using, after I soak my lovely here spin that I finished, I have finally invested, because it was super cheap, in a salad spinner. So all of you non-spinners are going, why do you need a salad spinner for your, why do I care? This is why you care. And if you make small things like that would fit in here, like shawls, one skein projects, mitts, shawls, hats, well, shawlettes, hats, little cowls, that sort of thing, that'll fit inside your salad spinner. After you give it a good wet soak, if you wet soak your finished projects, spinning or knitting or crochet, you put it in here, and instead of laying it on a towel and wringing it out and in effect flattening all your stitches, if you want it to stay big and poofy, you put it in your salad spinner and spin it, throws all the water out of it, and helps you get it as dry as you can without, like I said, squishing it in those towels. I've been thinking about getting one of these for a couple of years now. I spun a braid of Gail's Art a couple of years ago now, that was a camel silk blend. So you had this fantastic, these short fibers of the camel with these long fibers of the silk, and it really, when I finished it on the bobbin, it was all poofy and wonderful, but then I soaked it and I squished it in the towel, and it's not nearly as beautiful as it was on my bobbin because it got all squishened and flat. So I'm hoping with using the salad spinner, my yarns, instead of getting squished, will stay nice and plump. And I've been kind of not necessarily shopping for one, but kind of keeping my eye out for a good deal. And this one says that it was $35 wherever it was being sold originally, and their price was $14.99. So that's what I have. That's it. How has your summer been? I know it's not officially summer yet, but if you're in the northern hemisphere, we are feeling it. East Tennessee has even been warmer than like South Florida these days. Once I had a person at Knitting Group today saying she has some relatives in Florida. They were like, yeah, it's starting to get hot. We're in the upper 80 degrees Fahrenheit. And it's like, we haven't been below 95 as a high. God, for 2 weeks. It is so hot. It is miserable being a pregnant woman in this heat. Let me tell you. But, you know, the birds, I can't keep bird feed in my feeders. So many birds that I get to watch in the mornings. I had some bluebirds that had nested in my bluebird box, and they moved out, and I didn't realize they had moved out. So before I could go clean their nest out, I had some tree swallows move in. And that's okay. Tree swallows are not as fun to watch as bluebirds, but they're very pretty, and they're birds too. They need a place to make their babies, so I was okay with it. But this week I got to watch them pushing their fledglings out of the nest, and that was a lot of fun to watch because some of them were not interested. So we had a robin build a nest on the end of our house where we can't get to it to knock it down, and it's empty now, but we got to watch those little baby birds, you know, grow up and fly off, so that was fun too. It's been a fun spring coming up to summer. So I hope yours has been equally enjoyable and you've been enjoying what you've been seeing. I love summertime, spring and summer, the greenness and the life, and I love it. So yeah, I'm gonna let you guys go now. It is Father's Day today. It is June the 21st, so happy Father's Day to all you fathers out there, and thanks for doing what you do. Don't forget, I hope you gave your dad, if you are not a father, or I guess if you are a father, you probably still have a father. I hope you took the time today to give your dad a call if you're not close and say that you love him. I lost my dad. God, has it been 3 years? Time flies. And I miss him every day. And life's too short. Don't forget to tell the people you love that you love them. Thanks for coming and joining me. If you want to contact me, all of my contact information will be printed on the screen at the end of the episode. My notes can be found at weareyarn.com. I am available on iTunes and YouTube and directly on my blog website as well. So I hope to see you again in a couple of weeks. I'll try to keep up with how long time has passed next time. But until then, I hope all your knitting goes as planned. Bye, guys.
I just can't wait to finish. I got the kitten knitting blues. No, I just can't wait to finish. That's why I got those kitten knitting blues.